what's up everybody? Good afternoon. This is Ovalle Inspiración. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please stick around. Watch my other videos on finances, money management tips, and a debt-free journey that my wife and I are in. So the video that we're going to be working on is going to be part 1 of 3. So I'm excited about this as I work on the other videos as well. So today we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of renting an apartment or a home. And I actually wrote them down on index cards because I will forget and I don't have everything memorized in my mind. So let's get to it. So talking about the pros and cons of renting an apartment and a home, one of the things that you have for the pros of renting is flexibility and freedom. What do I mean by that? First of all, you can have a quick decision to move out if you wanted to. Okay? Because you don't own a home, you're only renting, so you can actually move out whenever you want. Especially if you have a month-to-month rent. Now, if you have a contract lease, a 1-year contract lease, and you try to leave before the contract is over, you can still leave, but most likely, or maybe all the time, you will have to pay a fine or a fee in order for you to move out. I don't know how much it is. It may be different for other places, but you will have to pay. So that is one of the flexibilities and freedom that you have in renting an apartment or a home. Another one is you have limited responsibility. Pretty much that the landlord has more responsibility to take care of the property. For example, the landlords or the maintenance people, they are responsible in cleaning the property outside of your living space. For example, they are responsible to install things inside the living space. If it's small, you can do it on your own, but for the most part, they are the one that does it. They also provide the AC filters, as where I am living. We don't pay for the AC filters. We just gotta give them, go down to the office and pick it up every month. Another thing too is paint, right? If a wall needs to be painted again because it got dirty or something happened, they are responsible of painting. Now, if you have a small little spot that you just need to cover it up for whatever reason, you can just ask. They may have it and they can just give you the paint and you just bring it back. But if not, they are the ones that would do it for you. Another one is that renting an apartment may be cheaper versus owning a home. Alright? Now, depending where you live, I know some places can be very expensive. If you live in California, if you live in New Jersey or New York, or I myself, I live in Miami in South Florida. It depends. It can be expensive, but overall, it is cheaper to rent than buying. But we'll be talking about that more in the next video. The next one, if you work or travel a lot, you won't have the responsibility of maintaining the property that you live in. Again, remember, if you rent a living space, the landlord is the one taking care of the property outside around it. You know, the parking lot, cleaning the property, maybe repainting the floors outside, whatever the case may be. They are the one cleaning that. And another good thing about this is that if you travel and for work or whatever a lot, you won't have to spend much money on the light bill or the water bill because you're not running the water. You're not using electricity as much as if you were living in your home or your living space every single day. So that is a plus when you're actually renting. When you have to travel a lot, you won't have to use much electricity and you don't have to really clean the property outside of your living space. So that's a good part. Now let's talk about the cons of renting an apartment or a home. So when you rent, just know that rent can increase at any moment. And usually it happens every year. It may not be a lot of money. It may be something small, maybe like a $15 raise, but it still raises up, or it still rises up. So for example, when I first moved here in the apartment that my wife and I live, the rent has gone up each year. Very small, but it still has gone up. So just be ready that whenever you're gonna rent, the price can go up at any time, especially annually. The next thing, talk about the cons of renting an apartment or a home. So when you rent, just know that renting is that if you rent, the cons of renting is that you can't build equity, right? Wherever you rent is simply a living space. It's not an asset. Now, what do I mean by home equity? Home equity is pretty much the value of interest in a home. Now, the good thing about to know about owning a home is that when you put a higher down payment for a house, it will immediately provide home equity versus putting a lower down payment for a home. So just a little tip for you to know that whenever or if ever you want to buy a home, you want to do your best to put a big down payment to build that equity immediately. Another con is that no tax benefits. If you're renting, you have no tax benefits versus you're buying a home. So it's just a living space. There's no benefits but that you're living there and that's it. All right. Another thing too is that if you're renting, one of the cons is that you need approval from the landlord to make changes in the living space. Now, if it's small changes, like you want to put like a small little shelf in the bathroom, you want to put some of your products on top of it, to create space, that's fine. But for example, in my bedroom, we have a pretty big closet, and there is a shelf already on the top, but we wanted to add 2 shelves in the bottom, right below the clothes that's hanging on hangers. So we didn't do it. We didn't buy it. So our landlord, he actually installed it for us, and that's how it works. And we needed approval to do that. Another con is that many places that you go to rent, whether it's an apartment or a home, they have a no pet policy. And I know it sucks because a lot of people love to have animals. And in this case, it's specifically more for like a dog. All right. Now, if they do allow a dog, then you will have to pay more up front for having a dog. Not so much other animals like a fish, a hamster, or even a cat. You don't really have to pay for that, but definitely a dog. All right. Another con for renting is that you can be evicted at any time. Let's just say you're renting a home and the owner wants to actually sell it, right? So somebody can live in it and not rent it. He may give you a whole month for you to find a new place to live and move out. So you can be evicted at any time for any reason, and they have all the authority to do that. You just have to know that ahead of time before you want to rent a spot. And then the last one is you are bounded by the rules and obligations in your lease agreement. All right? So whenever you are about to rent a living space, they will give you a package, whether a physical or tangible or a virtual package, and you have to read through the lease so you can know all the rules, all the obligations that pertains to you as you will live there. So in order for you to obey, and so you can know. So those are some of the pros and cons of renting a house or an apartment. Stay tuned to my next video. We're going to be talking about the pros and cons of owning a home. And then stay tuned for my third video, which I will tell you the topic in my second video. So if you know any other benefits, any other pros and cons of renting a home, please put it in the comment section. Let me know. I may have missed some, or some of them didn't just come to my mind, but these are just some of the things that came to my mind as I was looking up of renting a home or an apartment. So I hope you're liking this video. Enjoy it. Please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video, and please hit that notification button. Alright guys, so we'll see you next video. Peace.